Godzilla podcast, but we got some massive things in store. First, I want to shout out Sip Supplies. Massive love to Ricky and Esky from Open Source for putting it on. Can't have done it without you guys. Massive shout out to Molotov for doing all the cutting, editing, and animations. A massive shout out also to Split Atoms on the beat. We're changing the format up. You know, ello.c is coming, which is going to be hectic, so can't wait, and we got something special for you as well, so keep an eye out. Love you all. Thanks to all the guests so far, and we've got some highlights for you coming up for the first 9 episodes. Catch you next week. Peace.
I did it recently at Ivy, and I'm DJing, and this guy starts looking at my laptop, and I just kind of like push him off.
You brushed the cunt?
He's a big, tall dude, man. Big, tall black guy.
Here we go.
I'm like, yeah, man, you can't be touching on my laptop.
What
the fuck you doing? You
Yeah.
got to get slapped. He's like, oh, man, I just want to, have you got Roddy Rich? And I was like, just chill, man. You tell me what, like, you can make a request and then get out. Like, because I was in the booth and he was just standing there. And then I'm DJing and he's still there and he's not getting the point. And at this point, I'm like, where's the security guard? Because I need to kick this guy. Drag him the fuck. I hate people in the booth. I'm not one of those DJs. Like
the lurkers, bro. We all know the fucking lurkers, bro. The lurkers would be like, they're looking at the girls in the crowd like, hey, you want a track? I know the DJ. You're like, bro, I don't know you. Get the fuck out of the booth.
Get out, man. I hate that shit. So he's not getting the point, and then he's like, I'm DJing, and then he keeps sticking his phone in my face. Like, yo, man, look. And I'm looking at an Instagram profile. And I was like, yeah, man, I'll look for this artist. I'll see if I've got that artist. That's what I thought he was showing me. He was showing me his Instagram.
Who was it? Wait, you fucking got me in suspense.
So he kept going and I was like, come on, man. I'm just, I'm out here trying to have fun. And I was like, what are you doing in here, man? What are you? Like, what do you play for Sydney Kings or something?
Oh. He said, did you play for Sydney Kings?
He goes to me, this is what he said to me.
They're the worst lurkers, bro.
That's what he said to me. He goes, Sydney Kings, and he starts laughing.
Wait, bro, you gotta write that shit down.
Starts laughing.
That's a fucking soundbite.
Starts laughing at me, and he's like, yo, I could buy the Sydney Kings. And I was like, I didn't say the N-word, but in my head, I was like,
you're like,
whatever.
What is that?
Whatever.
Your face.
Sure, you can.
Yeah. Go.
Okay, yeah, whatever, man.
Yeah.
And he's like, wow, see this ring? That's like a Ferrari. They're on this chain. Chain costs $100,000. Like, whatever, bro.
You know, this is mad though that you're still having this fucking conversation with this man.
And I was like, he's like, yeah, man, it's a Ferrari. I was like, cool, buy me a Ferrari then, smart ass. You're so big, almighty, talking all that shit. I'm in his face, too. He's tall. I'm like, buy me. Imagine this little chubby guy and a really tall guy. He's about this tall. I'm like, buy me a Ferrari then, smart ass. Like, and I'm like pointing in his, I'm like gunning point in his face. Like, you ain't nothing, bro. You're nothing. Like, don't come up in here trying to act tough. You ain't nothing. He's like, I could make you famous. And then I had my boy Tim, DJ Shifty, with me. He was the one that boogie out. I just grabbed you. I was like, this fool trying to say he's gonna make me famous.
You know what the funny thing is?
I was on some other shit.
But you got legs though, because like you are actually one of the best in the world. So like you sort of got like I am like in my field, bro. If you don't know who I am in my field, then like shut the fuck up. You can actually say that. So you got cred.
I was in his face telling him, shut the fuck up. I'm already famous, bro. I'm worldwide, son. And I was like, because he was, and I don't really talk like that. Don't think I talk like that. But because he was
coming at you like that,
flexing, I was like being a smart ass. Like, he's gonna make me famous. And I was like, who are you, bro? And then he'd show me his phone again. Ben Simmons. And I was like, he's like, this is me.
Yeah, well, because I got a little bit more, but yeah. No, but that's fine because it's interactive. We want these motherfucking questions.
Yeah,
to be
they gotta
answered.
know. The people need to
But
know.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to re-ask the question just so they know what the question is. Yeah. So what's the question? So if you could speak to your younger self, what would you tell yourself?
Do less drugs.
I was going to say like get absolutely buckled
actually,
less.
do more. No.
More kick-ons.
Look, yeah, more kick-ons, less punch-ons. I think that's a reoccurring theme.
Yeah.
What would I tell my younger self? I'd say you're doing really good. Stop stressing your ass off. Don't sacrifice, your personal relationships for this kind of necessity or need to do something for, I don't know, for this greater cause or something, or stress. Just be happy with who you are and what you're doing, and
That's a
don't
big
be
one,
so
man.
focused on
I think
doing
it's
it
hard
for
though, right?
anyone else or anything else. But and yeah, take care of yourself and don't give yourself so much pressure and stress, because there's times there was cracking and almost, and using alcohol and MDMA as a way to sort of keep my sanity and keep calm, just because I was running the
Down the anxiety.
candle at both ends, whereas the ways to combat that are to be healthier, to go through those emotions, to talk about it, to be able to, deal with the issues at the time in a sober state, instead of just
that's powerful,
doubling up on shit,
Because you just push it to the side and it's inevitable. It's going to come back, right?
100%. And you never feel good. You feel anxious the next day, but you can get rid of it at the time. So I probably would say, maybe tone down shit slightly, but at the same time, it made me, who I am.
As well.
And so I'd say you're doing good, doing good, calm down, and
keep going.
And keep going. You're gonna
Fucking
be
hell.
all right.
Yeah.
You're gonna be sitting there at 32 with Lee Monroe going, "Shit's cool, man. Don't stress. You'll be all right. You got another 32 years. You're gonna be doing this. It'll be fine." And to say, make sure you're good to those, those people, because I probably could have spent, a little bit more time focusing on why I was doing it and the relationships of the people that I was doing it with, because sometimes when things are getting big, there's all these other pressures, and you're trying to do this and trying to fill so many hats, you lose sight of why you're doing it, which is to jam with your crew and jam with your mates and make some good quality music. But I guess beyond that, RP was, there's a reason behind you doing it as well, because the pressure was on. Mute was like, we're here to put a message out. We're here to say things that need to be said that aren't getting covered by other artists. And I've continued that in my music, as much as possible, while still retaining my own individual self and being fun and being able to do different styles. But yeah, like the pressure is there, and I think that's also good to run on, because you should feel as an artist you have a responsibility to do that and to be able to use that privilege that you have to have a microphone, or to be a white Australian rapper, the privilege that I have to be able to speak to so many people who will listen to me ahead of other people. If I don't use that for the right purposes, then I'm you're not utilizing the gift that I've been given and that I'm rolling with. So yeah, I mean, that's funny though. I actually might use that question too, because I've got this here, right? Like, one thing about you is that you're an activist. You don't just sit on your hands. That responsibility piece, bro, that took me personally as an MC, even because I used to flow American and I wasn't even speaking like in my natural tongue, and I know that debate's sort of deaded now, and no one really gives a shit, and that's fine. But I think for me personally, right, like I was like, yo, actually, there's a responsibility that I'm starting to have, and I see like young dudes coming up and maybe not being embracive or like really just embracing of who they are and their identity. So I was like, yo, but if I'm not leading, then then what do I expect, for them? And I suppose, going back to you, you're not just
like I say, an MC that sleeps on your hands or sits on your hands, you're fucking out there. You're an activist, bro. I've seen you out in Hyde Park for fucking, obviously with all the shutdown shit that keeps in the open stuff, fucking freestyling on the corner there. It was still pissing down rain, I believe. And, you're out there for Indigenous rights and, just equality is a big part of what you do. So, how do you use your voice and influences, and stuff to get involved and what sort of strengths of yours do you use that you're sort of most proud of? Because I heard you say that privilege thing there, and that's a big thing that a lot of people don't fucking absorb. It's like, yo, it's a privilege to be who the fuck we are, the color that we are, and the fucking position that we're in, to say the shit that we got to say.
Yeah, and to be accepted into particular cultures and communities that will, school me up and educate me. So I can also use that to be able to go and speak that out. I think being open to, all different walks of life and being able to expose yourself to all different walks of life to be able to say that story, because that's what it's about. But I think, I'm blessed to be able to grow up with the folks I did. My mum was a domestic violence worker, drilled crazy shit into me, stories. I grew up around, in Urco around, some pretty crazy times in the 90s. And, it was a different spot back then as well, and in 2000s, and see lots of different things. But then also just the more I school myself on the history of Australia and actually go, what am I, how can we be so, whitewashed.
Ignorant and fucking whitewashed, straight up.
And,
it's mind-blowing.
That is my responsibility to learn more about that and being able to, speak that out, because a lot of people, aren't exposed or even exposed to that way of thinking. Well, I'm blessed to be open to that and to have dug through that. So it's to be able to then learn more about that and open that up, because, people don't want to be ignorant. People don't want to be hateful. I don't think generally it comes from being scared or being, a bit of lack of knowledge and being open to those types of things. But I think, just pushing through on that and making sure that's on my main agenda is to remember that there's a reason that I'm here and that I've got a mic and that I've got to use it properly, because that's a big thing about telling a story. And some of the best artists to do that, that I love, do that as well. So, that's the style. But I love flexing and rhyming. But being out there, getting on the microphone and being out there and
present.
Yeah, you've got to be at those protests. You can't just do that just because you're online. It doesn't mean you're there. You still got to lay out. You've got to show that people power and use your
that's another
effort,
level of support though, there's fuck a lot between talk and action, and to be there and active and live, man, there's a lot of action, man. So fucking big ups for that. I
appreciate it, man.
And it's fucking good to see, man. It's inspiring.
So I've got it.
Did you do the Mike Rush's tour?
Did we do the Mike Rogers?
No. Did you? Was Enter on that? Was that used?
Yeah, Enter was on.
Was Enter in on?
Yeah,
because I want to talk about the business, the business shit of it, right? Because the reason why I talk about this is because, in all seriousness, not heaps of people are gonna go and put their money where their mouth is. In terms of talking to some cunt, getting him out here.
Listen, Lee.
Can I ask the question?
I'm gonna tell you a funny story about this.
I know what you're gonna ask, right?
I'm gonna tell you about.
No, I'm not gonna ask what you think I'm gonna ask, because I don't even know what the fuck you're gonna.
I'm gonna tell you some funny shit once he's done.
You're gonna ask.
Let me ask, right?
Talk.
So how did was that you guys on it? Or did was Enter in on it?
Do you want to know how it all started?
Answer the fucking question first before you get started on it.
It was a business proposition with us.
So you guys kicked it off.
At the Trap Tune Entertainment is
we kicked
well, that's
it
what
off.
I wanted to start talking about as well. At the Trap,
At the Trap,
we kicked it off, brought it home, right?
Yep.
That's what we done. Is that it?
How did that go? Because that was a big fucking learning thing for you guys, and
Was
and
it?
like and
I don't know if about.
no, but this is what I want to talk about. When I said at the start of this shit, I was like, I want people to win through, learn,
cool. Let's get on it.
Win through or learn through, your learning.
Our wins and losses, 100%.
So how did you kick that off to get an international guy out here? What were some of the fucking challenges about that? How many people were really involved? Because for example, for me to put this shit together, this is me I pay for a few things. You know, the boys have like put their time in.
Yeah,
We
you
got
put your time
editing.
and
We got
effort,
all this
yeah,
sort of,
100%.
you know. So this is really like a culmination of my idea mixed with these guys' ideas and passion. With Jeff's come in to fucking put his spin on it. So this is not a fucking solo effort, right? But it does, like, man, our first one that we actually ever did was with Mr. Mez, and we learned a lot in that one because we fucked the production. We probably overthought it, right? And then we had to go back, rehash, fucking think about it, and then now what we've got is
It's a working
works a lot
system.
better.
Yeah.
Whereas that first learning went, it fucking taught us a lot. So, with you guys, how did you go about kicking that off? Because, bro, big props for getting an international, even having that discussion and the logistics of it and fucking, all that. How did it start and, what did you guys learn from it?
Well, here's the thing, mate.
Okay,
When
did
we
that
were
substantiate the fucking question
It did.
better? Yeah, okay.
As we were saying before, we're on the same page, right? Mentally. Well, Mike Rogers always has been, since I first heard him, he's been in my top 5.
Dope.
So I was like, I'd love to get on the track with this guy. So I hit him up, fuck, you can't do a track, this and that. So what do you charge? He gave me his price. I'm like, he's charging that for a track. How much for a show? And then bang, he's told me show, and I ring this car. I'm like, bro, we're bringing Mike Rogers out. And he's like, what's
straight up.
I told him the prices, whatever. And he's like, yeah, sweet. Anyway, the deposit comes. I'm like, I'm at work, cuz, can you run down the bank? He runs down the bank. He gets to the bank. He rings me up. He goes, so did he want pounds or dollars? We did not know.
Oh, so you didn't think of that shit, eh? When
I
he
didn't
goes,
think of that.
here's my price, and he rings me and goes, he wants this much for the show, this much for the feature, and I go to the bank and I'm like, he's probably going to want pounds because he's from England and they have pounds.
So therefore,
Of course.
So if I'm going
So
to
it's
put,
three
so if
times
I'm
the
going to pay
fucking
him
price.
her price
I
has
need to
just
pay
doubled,
two.
right?
Because at the point in time, the currency exchange rate was like,
Skyrocket.
50 cents to Australian
But
dollar.
in saying that, we were doing good.
Yep.
We're doing all right.
We're doing good, right?
We're doing all right. We had cash. I mean, we didn't budget it in exactly.
The
but
thing about that tour, it wasn't more about making money, but it was more about experience.
I was going to say. And
one of his-
sometimes you
and
can't
we got
even
to bring
pay
out
for
one
that,
of-
bro.
We got to
Let's
bring
be-
out one of his favourite MCs.
Let's be real, guys.
You know?
We flew 8 countries around the country that we didn't need to fly around the country.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but we did it because we're here. We're here together. Let's
That's
fucking
it.
do
Let's
this
do
shit,
it.
you
Let's
know
have
what I
fun
mean?
with it.
We
Yeah,
love
let's
doing
do
this
it.
shit.
And fucking so, but then even then, when it comes back to how we are as men, morally, I found out talking to Mike a lot more. Found out he's got family here. You know?
True.
Yeah.
he had
So when
family.
they migrated, his father went there, and his grandmother come here down to
shit.
Canberra.
Yeah.
So when he was telling me all that stuff, I'm like, you know what? So as a man, I said, I'm going to fly you out here 3 days earlier, so you can meet your nan, so you can spend time with your family. You know what I mean? So he was here
yeah, he
for
went
he was
down.
here for 4 days before any show kicked off.
Yeah.
Just to spend time with his family.
Sick.
That's what I wanted to do. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, yeah, you're gonna remember your tour, this and that, but family's everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if you got opportunity
And that's
to
dope,
build
man, because that's
something,
really
bro,
what you
celebrate
guys,
yourself.
stand for, and that's,
100%.
that's hectic. Yeah.
Mind you, it was a fuck all sleep the whole
Bro, I
weekend.
think I honestly slept about 2 hours from like Thursday night to Sunday, and I was
He held it down, lad. If it wasn't for him, we'd have missed flights left, right, and centre.
because you know how it is to try and get 10 people, like 10 like rappers and boys that are just partying, like.
Mind you, we had
The
a couple
flight's
of
coming
boys-
at, we've got to be up at 4, and I'm banging on doors, like, get the fuck, I don't know what I'm stressing the fuck out about. And we get to the airport, our names are being called and shit. I'm like, this is why I'm stressing out, because the plane going to leave the fuck without us.
Something funny.
You know what I mean?
Something funny.
Side note.
Speaking of luck,
What was the
getting
fun
stressed the fuck out.
My cousin said, fucking come, So he's come along. I'm like, how'd your woman let you do this? He goes, I told her I was going to get a haircut. Told her on
5 days later.
5 days later, come
Where are
back.
you? I'm just in Melbourne. Why is it so loud? The
Wait,
boys are
she's
doing
Wait,
it.
did he go home with a haircut, but?
No,
No, he didn't.
he went home with a fucking hangover.
had no fucking money.
Because I shit you not, two of them,
had no
Hartley
money.
and Blake, them two boys, did not sleep the whole tour.
At our
The
party.
whole, except on the plane.
So, where'd you grow up? You first.
You
no,
first, all right.
come on, man.
All right, so,
we all know
you-
where Tyson's from. Shit, look at him. He's draped.
Cause what?
From the
He's
area
from
and
the area. We're from the area, but he's from the area.
Yeah. The area, but then there's the actual it's the area. That's it where he's from, exactly. So
Actually, like funny thing how you're just saying about, with this podcast, trying to keep it hip hop, keep it with the culture. I actually first met you at a hip hop event years
You're
back.
lying.
Nah, years back.
Yeah.
Because I used to be a break dancer, a
Breakdancer.
hip hop
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
dancer. So there was this hip hop event. I think it could have been like Bankstown area. It could have been a Bankstown, like a local event, or in Parramatta. Actually, it was in the Roxy. It was in
Roxy.
It was in the Roxy. It was in the Roxy, and
I think you've told me this.
yeah,
Was I rapping
my crew was, you know, had to do like a little dance thing, and
Like,
then
see how you just shrugs it off, like a little dancing.
Yeah.
Cunts were probably spinning on their heads, but it was just a little dancing.
yeah, and then yeah, oh yeah, shout out to my old dance crew, DMK and the Chicky Bombs.
Yeah.
Shout out to,
Oh wait, Merv.
no,
Was Merv
Merv,
in
Merv's,
Chicky Bombs?
nah, he was in 463, but yeah, well,
Merv Victorino.
yeah, we actually
Shout out
did-
to Merv Victorino.
Shout out to Mervs. Yeah, he's one of the boys as well. So actually he let me practice on his leg when I was an apprentice too. Anyways, yeah. So
See, I'm telling you, this is exactly why we do this
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
podcast. But it's gonna be like the
he's a fellow Bankstown boy as well. He's from the area too.
Yes, the
area.
boys. So yeah.
Anyways, yeah. And the first time I met you is because you were the first person that I see verbal scratch, and it blew my mind. Like
What? Verbal what?
you know,
all that shit.
that,
Oh,
yeah.
verbal.
Yeah, this was like the early 2000s. This is
Damn.
early 2000s, and he was the first one I did that. Like, yeah, you know, everyone beatboxed.
Yeah, yeah.
But when he was rapping, he'd verbal scratch when he was rapping in one of his sets, and
Whoa.
it blew my mind. And
Fuck, here we go.
yeah, I had to like after the show, I had to like suck his dick. I was like, hey man.
Yeah, babe,
me
I
how you
swear,
do
he
that
did suck
tongue.
my dick, sweetheart,
Yeah.
because I know my girl's watching. Like, Ron did not suck my dick at any time.
Whoa.
Like, it's fine. But anyway,
Yeah.
but I know what
Yeah,
you mean.
Yeah, I was like, man, that was mate. Yeah, so that was the first time I met you.
It's
At a
fucking
hip-hop
mad
event.
love. But, so,
Oh yeah, so back to
where'd
my
you grow
question.
up, bro?
So back to the question.
But that's fucking
back
you
to
know
the
what?
question.
That's a sick, like trip down memory lane, because R.I.P. Roxy.
Yeah.
'Cause
Oh yeah, it's gone now.
It's gone, eh?
That was actually haunted.
Is it?
Yeah, it was haunted. The old theatre, there was. You ask anyone that works there, there's always apparitions, like people sitting up the top and stuff like that all the time.
Oh, fuck that. I know that you'd have a problem with that.
Nah, I got no issues.
Are you going to be going down
I'd be having issues if they were, you know, hanging around, go with that mouth thing, you know.
I'd be having trouble if they were sucking my... No,
Yeah.
This reminds me of that scene in the
PG.
Ghostbusters. Do you remember that? No, anyway. Don't worry about that. Anyway, so yeah,
yeah,
where-
so,
area.
yeah, back
Where was
yeah.
the area? The area.
So the area I grew up in, Minchinbury, Mount Druitt. Yeah, my parents are still there now. And yeah, I started out as a dancer. That's where I met you. And then after dancing, I quit dancing to become a Muay Thai fighter. So I fought
Yeah,
for
bro.
Full Force Gym in Blacktown. And then I quit fighting to pursue tattooing. So
God damn.
that's-
From the
that's my
area to
story.
all the areas.
Yeah.
Tice,
Yeah.
I have to ask,
Yeah.
even though we all know where you're from, but where you from?
Belmore,
Yeah,
home of the Brave,
absolutely.
home of Canterbury Bulldogs.
Home of Belmore Oval.
Yeah.
Yeah, amen.
Amen.
Born and bred.
Nah, I was actually born in St. Leonard's in North Sydney.
Shout out to Molotov.
Shout out to the
Molotov.
North
To the
Sure.
yuppies, the north side yuppies.
Yeah. Yeah. Those guys.
That's what you got your high taste for, ladies. I don't even know what that means,
Oh,
but yeah,
I thought you were
that
gonna
made sense
say
a bit.
that's why. You,
Got a high taste for Coke. No, joking.
Whoa,
whoa, man.
Whoa.
Coca-Cola is
Whoa.
no.
You
I
wanna
believe in
talk about
Pepsi
the North
Max.
Sydney Bears, and this
No.
guy wants to fondle with.
Shout out to the North
ladies.
Sydney Bears and the best NRL retro jerseys.
100%. 100%.
All right, but you can't
Yeah.
be caught dead in that though.
Sorry?
You can't be caught dead in a North Sydney Bears jersey.
Of course I can.
Okay.
I can walk around naked. Nah, I can't because my mum will slap me. But you know, I mean around the area and that.
It's true.
I won't do
The
that.
area and that.
I won't ever do it. I won't never ever disrespect the area like that.
No, you can't. Otherwise, the area will get you.
Oh, yeah.
In school, right? I want to talk about school years. Where'd you go to school?
I went to St. Agnes, represent Rudy Hill. Then I went to Loyola, Mount Druitt, represent Loyola. It's not there anymore. They closed the school down because there was
Because of 1-4.
it's,
No, I just
Who
know
wants
everything on
smoke?
1-4. No jokes.
That's
Shout out to
it.
1-4,
yeah,
sick
no,
cunts.
we had a very high failure.
Yo,
That's the same school that me and Ricky went to.
You went to Loyola?
Loyola.
Represent.
Shout
Loyola
outs, shout
represent.
outs.
Wait, it's not there anymore?
No, they made it into a technical college,
What does that mean?
like where you learn technical things.
So they're like technically it's not a school.
technically, it's not technically. Yeah.
If anyone's going there, like I'm sure you're educated as well. Like,
Yeah, but it's funny. I actually had nieces and nephews there, and that school actually started doing random drug testing at the school.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, what?
But yeah, shout out to the people in the area because we don't take drugs. But it was just it was just the school was it was just wild. The teachers were wild.
For you would have been immersed all of a sudden from like up and coming and trying to be taken serious by Australian MCs and jumping on ciphers to like bang, man, in a short fucking period of time.
Yeah.
You're touring with a fucking OG in rap.
Yeah, like
right, and getting like this knowledge, like how was that, and like what did you take from that tour?
That was crazy. That was like, I don't know. It was so surreal because it was like, and like I've done a fair few of these sort of tours too. Like I've done Bone Thugs.
Oh, now you have,
And
now you've got fucking a belt of it, bro.
Yeah, but like it's just so cool when you meet them and you're with them and you find out like, you know, they don't like it makes it so much more better when they don't have like this whole diva aspect, like you know what I mean? Like
they're on the hustle as well.
There's no ego. They're just normal people and like and they can sit down and talk to you and give you proper guidance too. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, in saying that too, like for me at that time in my life when I was like, whoa, like I'm on the road now. Like I'm fucking going to Melbourne. I'm going to fucking Cairns. I'm going like fucking like all these places, doing all these crazy shows. I was like, I thought that was going to be like a pivotal point in my career where it was like, now I'm going to start getting noticed. But like, it doesn't work like that. You know what I mean? It definitely gives you a lot of like insight, and it gets you like, how do I say it? Like it definitely helps with your confidence and stuff, and like
because you could hold it, bro. Yeah, and they were giving you props for those shows.
Yeah.
You know, like they were like, yo, you can fucking flow.
Yeah, 100%. But it definitely didn't help with my trajectory of my career at all. Not at all.
Yeah, I think sometimes
not like I thought it would. Anyways,
I think it's true because you know some people associate the getting down with like some American cats and particularly some OGs in the game, and you know like getting some gems and knowledge, and you think other people are going to view that and say like, oh fuck, level of prestige. But if anything, cunts are just like, fuck whatever.
Yeah, fuck this cunt, he got the support slot and we didn't. Motherfucker, who's he? He came from nowhere.
Fuck off, cunts. T-Wreckz was building. He just fucking had a right conversation before you did, alright? So relax.
Yeah.
I've got to tell you a funny story, bro. I don't know if you heard this one.
Yeah, okay.
It's got to do with Spice One.
Yeah.
And Easy E's son.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I got it. So Jeff knows this.
I think I know this story, but
so Jeff got a call. No, I got a call.
I think
Vic was like, "Yo, where are you?" I go, "I don't know. Fuck, wherever I was. Why?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Yo, we're stuck at the airport.
Yeah.
They can't book our flight."
I know. And right. No. And it was that Kaz. Was it that Kaz chick? Was that that was a different thing,
bro. Okay, so I'm like, "Yo, we got the studio if you want to work."
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah," because he's like, "I don't have money. I can't. Yeah. I didn't book a hotel because it wasn't on the budget." Right. So we had Spice One, and this is the hustle. Spice One, fucking Easy E's son.
Yeah.
Like literally sleeping in the studio, living in the studio for fucking 24 hours until they can get a flight the next day.
That's like body bag media shit. Motherfuckers camping there all the time. Might as well pitch a fucking tent.
So how would it work out though? Like how would you go? Like how would was that just like, yo, I'm gonna put this out and fuck, we'll just slap the stick on it?
Yeah, you like go to stores like, oh, I've got 5 copies. Can you sell them? And things will be on consignment. Go back the next day. Oh, how'd you go? Oh, yeah, we sold this amount. Can you send some more? That was how it was, you know.
Yeah.
And Parallax View was creative out of the fact that there wasn't any other channels for us to kind of professionally sell these things, you know, because you could do tapes and then you could take it to record stores and stock 10 tapes there, and then you sell them $10 each, you get $100.
Yeah.
And then get the $100 and make 10 more. You know?
Yeah.
You know,
exactly
it was that easy, you know.
And it was
before GST and everything too, so cash in hand stuff. And
the actual slang sort of hand-to-hand situations.
Yeah, you know, like, you know, Too Short and all that were doing it out of their trunk. We were going to stores, sending it to stores, and that
Packing
was-
it up,
Yeah,
taping it.
that's it. I used to rack 10-pack tapes in the backpack, like go to Grace Brothers, rack 2 packs, put it in the bag, and walk out, go home, dub the tapes, you know, and the handwrite the
Hustle,
each,
yeah. Your
each
fucking hand
cover
styles had to be good.
and send it over. And it's funny because there's a few tapes here and there that were different.
Yeah.
Like would put different songs on it, and then years later, people were like, "Oh, yeah, I got that tape where this and that," and I'd spin out like, "Oh yeah, that was just like a one-off thing. We put an extra song on there."
Bro,
or-
that's the coolest shit.
yeah, you know, it really. I mean, if people have these tapes, it's like a real collector's kind of, you know, item, because most of them were the same, but there was sometimes we'd like, oh, well, fuck this
So
one
was
up,
that
you know?
was that you just being like, you know?
Yeah,
like,
it was just us
fucking-
being,
just
like-
blazing and be like, yo, fuck it, I'm gonna.
Nah, not even blazing.
Okay.
Man. It was just us
Just
being
kicking
like,
back.
yeah, just us being like, oh, this would be funny if we put an extra song in there, and whoever gets it would be like thinking it's part of the album, but then they'll talk to other people and like, oh, what about this song? And they're like, what's that? You know,
That's
so
so
that kind of
dope.
yeah, that kind of
Me taking notes like had random shit to like cassettes.
yeah, you know, that was our train of thought back then. You know, just to kind of thinking it was funny, you know, firstly, but then thinking like, oh, that's kind of dope.
It's a bit of a niche.
Yeah.
Yeah, hectic, man. What about like then, you know, it started to obviously climb after that, you know, and at what stage, because, you know, you got nominated at like, because back then it was like sort of independent awards, like dance awards and stuff that, you know, because ARIA is before the first ARIA that was for, what did they call it, urban? I can't remember.
Yeah, it was like best urban release.
Urban release.
That was the first year, but previous years they had best dance, and so
There wasn't a category.
Yeah,
there
so
wasn't
it-
a category for us.
yeah, so you know, like Catalyst got nominated for a dance award, even though he's not dance, but I think it was the closest category that he could fit in there.
Yeah,
You know,
so
and possibly Resin Dogs, I'm not sure, but yeah, it's just there wasn't an industry at that point. You know, like
so prior to that and like building up to those nominations at dance awards, because that's still a nod to like, well, you're onto something.
Yeah.
You know, at what point do you feel maybe you thought it was like, I don't know, taken off? Like maybe that you felt like, oh shit, like this could sort of, you know, really sort of be something? Or were you always sort of working the side hustle? Because what else were you doing the whole time?
playing rugby.
Oh, true.
Yeah, like yeah, hip hop and rugby were my passions.
Fuck yeah.
I was either gonna play for like Australia or Tonga, or gonna be a rapper, and it just came to a point where I couldn't do both because you really had to invest your time and energy in one of them.
In one of them, true, yeah.
You know, and like yeah, I hate training, man. Like so, it was kind of like a no-brainer to me.
I'd rather train my voice than
Yeah, you know, like my dad, I could tell. You know, I was very fortunate. I had very supportive parents.
Yeah.
You know, even though I could see they were like, okay, he wants to make music. Okay, you know, let's support him, see how this goes. And I remember, yeah, my dad. I'm sure my dad was kind of a bit like, because you know they come to Australia for us to get like, you know, go to uni and you know a lot of a lot of ethnic minorities. You know, their parents come from a certain area and they come to Australia in hope their kids are gonna get great education and great jobs, and
Yep.
you know, I'm sure it wasn't in their plan for their son to become a musician, you know, because it just wasn't.
It's not secure.
Yeah,
I feel-
especially at that point, like
Yeah.
no one was really. I mean, you had like Sound Unlimited posse kind of doing things here and there, but it wasn't like you would look like now. We're like, oh yeah, I'm a rapper and I do this and that.
Yeah.
And so it just wasn't in the scope for my parents to think, okay, you know, you want to be a musician. This could work out, you know.
And rap more particularly, because I remember my dad when I told my dad I rap, there was no white rappers at that stage. He was like, get a job, and then maybe
That's a big thing. Like, oh, when are you gonna get a like a
And then
real
on the s-
job? And
yeah, you know.
But again, you know, like I said, I'm fortunate. I had very supportive parents, and they kind of like let me do it. So yeah, like rugby was the other thing I'm doing, and then I was like, nah, I'm gonna do this music
Do the
thing.
rap, yeah, sick.
But you know, going back to your question, when we felt it was kind of, I think when we started doing shows, yeah, I remember got booked to play a show in Adelaide.
Yeah.
And that was our first, outside of Sydney, that was our first show interstate.
But Sydney was sort of like second home. So
Yeah, because you could drive there.
Much.
It was,
yeah.
wasn't really a thing. But
Yeah.
Adelaide, you had to fly there.
Yeah.
And so I remember I was sitting next to Daniel, and it was our first show. I think it was at Cargo Bar, and I think I had met Hilltop Hoods that night and a few other people. And I just remember sitting next to Daniel and be like, man, can you believe it? These guys are actually paying us to go there and then to play, you know, and for us to stay somewhere, you know. So it was a very big thing, and that felt like, okay, this, you know, if anything, this will be one hell of a.
All right, this is a fucking bit of a random one. I just chucked it in there, bro. You are the most backstage cunt that I've ever seen. Right? Just FYI. I don't think I have seen you. Anyone that has been here, that, you know, like you've been with everyone with a photo. How do you? I remember at Tech 9, it was so funny, man. You walked in, what felt like I was there with like, no, was it Tech 9? Can't remember. I think it was Tech. And you just walked up and you're like, "Hey, have you got the pass?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah." And you're like, "Oh fuck, can I just grab it quick for a second?" I'm like, "Yeah, sweet." You know what? You took one pass.
Yeah.
You took 10 cunts in there. It felt like, right?
That's all you need.
You got a bro. You got a photo, and you're like, "All right, fucking shook everyone's hand, like fucking laters." Like you got the photo and got the fuck out of there. It was like a thing of beauty.
I mastered the art of being backstage. The thing is, just pretend you like you're supposed to be there. And you got
But you are supposed to be there.
Yeah, I know.
That's the mentality, right?
No, but this is what happened, right? There was Method Man and Redman and DJ Premier.
Story, yeah.
It was a fucking back in the day, and I remember
this is when they were pumping.
And they were one of my influences to start rap back then. Like there was Method Man and like the Tag and all that. Like I liked Method Man and Redman.
Yeah.
Fucking, and I was like, I'm getting backstage tonight. Everyone laughed at me. Fucking, you know what I did?
What?
I seen Anecdote on stage. I did the same thing I did that day. I said, "Give me the pass." He came down, put it in the hat, gave it to me. I got that one pass. I got backstage.
Yeah.
Next thing, I'm fucking bumping into DJ Premier. DJ Premier's like, "You got weed?" I'm like, "I got a little bit." You know what I mean? Come in this room. Fucking now I'm back. I'm going, "Man, I'm not supposed to be back here." He goes, "No, you're cool now. You're cool now." I'm
Yeah.
That's the first time, and it was just determination.
That was the first time.
I just said, and then from there,
It feels like you've been in like a million fucking backstage.
No, but I think I figured it out pretty quick.
It's the green key, bro. What the fuck?
Do you want to know the hardest one?
What? Oh yeah, I do want to know the hardest. This is exactly why we do the podcast. What's the fucking hardest?
Try getting into Snoop's dressing room in ANZ Stadium in the Rabbitohs home ground in their lockers. So you know, just a stadium.
Yeah.
And there's levels of security, and there's like
it's like Mission Impossible shit.
Yeah, that was the night I did the song with Snoop.
Fuck. How'd you make that happen? What the fuck?
That's a fucking 3-hour story.
Is that?
Yeah.
Could you give us a relatively shortened version?
I'll tell you how it started. Fucking, I got to the stadium.
Yeah.
And like, I smelt like weed. These sniffer dogs got me and they searched me. I didn't have nothing on me. Must have just been the aroma of fucking.
It's the cologne.
Yeah. And fucking. So after that, I see Losty.
True.
Oh, but Losty had a pass.
Here we go.
I'm like, he's going to burn. I'm saying this.
Yeah.
We had to snip it. It was a hand pass. I go, "You got some blue tack? Got some blue tack?" Fucking dummied it up. Boom, boom, boom. Then there was 3 levels of security. This one only got you past the first one, right? I ended up in the fucking food catering section, getting food, fucking this, that. Yeah. Make my way all the way down with it, and then I just see the door open and I see Snoop and that in that. And you know who was there in their dressing room?
Who?
Snoop, The Game, Fat Joe, Busta Rhymes.
Oh, that was for that fucking.
Superfest.
Yeah, Superfest.
Yeah. And there's only 2 white guys in the room. It was me and Dave Aaron.
What
and
the fuck?
He's the engineer that recorded Tupac's All Eyes Ambitions as a Writer. The first song he did when he got out of jail, he recorded it. And it's only me and him in the room, the only 2 white guys, everyone else is Snoop's crew, you know what I mean?
Holy shit.
And then they went on stage, I got to stand behind the DJ and fucking see what 30,000 people look like. And then we went back to the hotel and did the song later.
In terms of big links, right? Because and we sort of talked on this before, you know, you've got, tell me about your association with, Open Till Late, because he's been doing some fucking hectic shit lately.
Yep. Open Till Late. You know how I said Ascension is like my start of my real career, my first album?
Yeah.
He was the first producer on that album. So he did it Illuminati.
Yeah, right.
So him,
did he?
Yeah, him and he's in the video clip, bro.
Yeah, but just because he's cunts in the video clip doesn't mean he produced the
No,
whole song.
yeah, but so him back then they were called Rockstar Mechanics. It was
Rockstar Mechanics.
Yeah.
That's the name.
It was Open Too Late and Isaac. It was Kirill and Isaac, and they were and they were open.
And now there's Deronin with fucking Andy.
So he's Deronin, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So then I was, So me and Kirill linked up through Lazy J.
Wait, so Lazy J knew
Lazy
Kirill.
J had his little label thing back then called CDMG, which was like Carpe Diem Music Group.
That's still one of the best, bro. What was his first mixtape? No, actually, I'm thinking before, bro. Lazy J had one of the fucking dopest mixtapes.
Yeah, I
ever,
remember.
bro,
It was mostly produced by. It was produced all by Kirill and Isaac. That was their thing.
Crazy. Okay, so then you met Kirill.
So I met Lazy. When Lazy got stabbed, I reached out to him saying, "Fucking, I know how this shit go, but wow, you're gonna be paranoid and all these things." So we built a friendship over him getting hurt.
Yeah.
Because I had gone through it, and then because I do the graphic design shit, I started helping them with their projects visually. And then they wanted a website, and in return, they were like, "Can we just swing you a beat from Rockstar Mechanics instead of paying for you?" And I was like, "Yeah, fucking no, send me a beat." And that was Illuminati.
That's the anthem. Get your damn. Oh, really?
Yeah, and that beat was Illuminati. And then because that beat
must be Illuminati.
To me, Open
bro.
Too Late is like, I've always said it to him. I was like, "Bro, you're a fucking genius, bro." And I was like, because his sound back then, Aussie hip hop producers' sound back then was very different. And I said, "You're the only producer in this country that sounds like American shit." You know what I mean?
I think. How would you say?
For me, that I knew personally.
No, like I have to agree. I remember. I can't remember.
There's
who
a
showed
few
me.
others out there, but
I think it was Guzman that made yo, you got to hear this Rockstar Mechanic shit.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, because I was hanging out with Guzman at the time because they were in Wenty, weren't they?
Maryland's. He's always been in Maryland's.
Okay, well, it was around the corner. Which is
Yeah, well, you're wrong, mate. It's fucking
Wenty.
Maryland's.
It's around the corner from fucking
No,
Wenty, cunt. All right, let's go. But so, and he used to show me some shit, and I used to be like,
I've
"It's
known him
hectic."
for like just nearly 10 years now, maybe under 10 years. He's my fucking brother. Like, me and him went to America for a month. Like, his idol. This is a cool story. One of his idols is, so his two idols, like production idols, is Timbaland and Polo the Don.
Yeah.
And then I went to America with him, and because my music is big in LA, and there's a company called Iron Bass that helps me get heaps of streams and all that. They're like a blog, and we were using their studio.
Yeah.
And then the dude from Iron Bass, J-Main, shout out J-Main, he was like, "Hey, fuck, I got this event in Atlanta. Do you want to come and bring the boys?" And this was like near the end of our trip because we were there for a month.
Yeah, and that's a long time.
And everyone was low on funds, and I had the last bit of bread, and I was like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna go see if I can hustle something," because it was with his event was with ello and Keys, and ello and Keys produced for like Jeremiah, Title Sign. Yeah, they're big like Iron Bass producers, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go down there, try connect with them, blah blah," and I ended up doing that. And then they invited me to their studio. So when I went to their studio, they worked in this big fucking complex. It's called 12 Studios because there's 12 studios inside. Yeah, fucking great name. And out the front was this mad drop top Phantom, like fucking
hectic shit.
Yeah, and I was like, "Fuck, whose car is that?" And they're like, "Polo the Don." And I was like, "Fuck,
Polo the fuck off."
Yeah, Polo the fucking Don. And then I was like, man, because he remember. Can you remember back in the day that Nas and Kerry Hilson song, Hero?
Who?
Hero. It's a song called Hero.
Oh, yeah.
So Polo Don made that beat, right? And I've loved that beat forever. And back then, I used to write a lot of my raps to Polo the Don beats. So I was a big fan of Polo Don. And then me and Kirill built this friendship because we have the same musical tastes. So we're both like, and I'm like, "Fuck, Polo the Don." So I'm messaging Kirill because he stayed in LA. Like, "Bro, I'm at Polo the Don's studio." And Kirill's like, "Fuck, if you meet him, I'm so jealous." So the next minute, I'm in the kitchen talking to ello and Keys, and fucking Polo the Don walks in, and the girl that was chaperoning me around, she's from Atlantic.
Yeah.
She goes up to Polo the Don, and she's like, "Oh, hey, blah, and says hello. And then he walks off, and I was like, "Was that fucking Polo the Don?" And she's like, "Yeah, do you want to meet him?" I was like, "Get fucked." And she's like, "Yeah." So she goes up to him, and he's like, "I'll come back in an hour because I've got a session."
Yeah.
So like, all right. in an hour's time, I walk in the fucking studio. He's got this mad fucking huge desk. And he has his girl that he's working with, Veronica Vega or something, and a few other people in the room. And the room's quite packed already. And so I just walk in and like sit on the last seat at the end. I just shook his hand like, "Yes, bro." And then I'm just there chilling. And then there's this dude next to me. And he's like, "Bro, where you from? Like your accent." I was like, "I'm Australia." And he goes, "Man, I just watched this fucking documentary on spiders in Australia, and I have this fucking stupid knowledge of spiders in fucking Australia because of this job that I used to have." Right?
What job?
When I was doing the NBN shit for Telstra, I had to do a whole course on fucking every type of spider in Australia.
You would, just in case. They'd all be in the
people
traps
get
and shit.
bitten. So I was like, "Bro, I have this unlimited knowledge." So me and this cunt start chopping it up, and I'm telling him, I'm fucking cooked, bro. I'm so high.
Yeah.
Bro, spiders, bro. The fucking, if this should get bitten by this one, bro. I'm talking for like 45 minutes
And
about
this guy's
spiders.
like on
and
fucking,
he's like,
on
"I've
edge,
got
like-
him." And we're laughing, bro. And the studio's massive, right?
Yeah.
And like 45 minutes into it, I look up and the whole room is watching me. And Polo the Don is watching me talk to this cunt. And this guy was the fucking voice of Simba from Lion King, the guy who sung the Lion King. Like, he was another famous dude. And I didn't know who it was.
Here's Mr. Miz.
Till later.
Fucking spider.
And then Polo the Don cuts, like, I look up and I was like, "Oh, sorry to interrupt your session," because it looked like I was being annoying.
Yeah.
And Polo was like, "Who the fuck are you?" And I went, "Oh, I'm Mr. Miz from Australia, bro. But I'm here with Iron Base and Atlantic."
Yeah.
And he goes, "Bro, I fuck with your energy, bro." And I was like, "Oh, really? Thanks, man."
Really fucking spiders.
And he's like, and just as he said that, the night before I met the producer for Watch Me Whip, Watch Me Nay Nay.
Oh shit.
You know that song?
Yeah, did you just
So
be like,
this is
"Fuck,
how
don't
this
do
is,
that
no,
again"?
This is how I met this guy. I was fucking lit. I was on an 8-ball at a bar in Atlanta. Knew fucking no one. Walk up to the bar and he's an older gentleman. He's probably like over 40 easy. And he's just there,
What are you
no
saying?
bling on. And I go, "Hey mate, you want a drink?" And he goes, "I'm fucking buckled." That's how I was talking. "Hey mate, you want a drink?" And he goes, "No, I've got a bottle behind the bar." And I said, "I'm fucking asked if you got a bottle behind the bar. Behind the bar, do you want a drink?" I go, "I'm drinking vodka. What do you want?" And he goes, "All right." And he orders his drink. I go, "What do you do?" Start talking to this cunt, completely buckled. "Oh, I'm a producer." I was like, "Oh yeah, mad. Yeah, I do music too, from Australia, blah blah." And I was like, "What? Have you done something that I would have known?" And he's like, "Yeah. Do you know that Salento Watch Me Whip, Watch Me Nay Nay?" I was like, "Fuck off." And he goes, "Yeah, I found that kid, and that's our first record we did together, and it just blew up." I go, "Bro, that," and because I knew about it, I was like, "Bro, that's got like 12 million sold records, like 12 times platinum. That's diamond. That's a diamond record."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, bro, worldwide, blah, blah." And I was like, "Yeah, bro, they play that song on it like non-stop in Australia."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Fuck yeah, bro." I was like, "Bro, like straight up, congrats, man. But you know what?" And he goes, "What?" I go, "I fucking hate that song, eh?" And he
I'd
laughed.
probably be like, "Yeah, so do I."
He laughed and he goes, "You know what? I fuck with you, bro." Because he's like, "You're honest," and he's like, "You know, like you like, congrats, but fuck your song shit." You know what I mean? So me and him kicked it off, and he's big in Atlanta. This guy, his name's Bolo.
Yeah.
So as Polo's like, "Man, I fuck with you, bro. I fuck with your energy." Bolo walks in the room, and then as soon as Bolo walks in the room, he goes, "Oh, what's up, man?" And like shook my hand, and then Polo's like,
"What the
fuck? How do you know everyone?" And I was like, "Oh, I met him yesterday." Blah, blah. And then he's like, "How long have you been here?" And I was like, 2 days. And he goes, "So in 2 days, you're hanging out with Atlanta's elite people?" And I was like, "Yeah."
That's fucking.
And he goes,
so
"Have you
dope.
been to a strip club?" And I was like, "Nah." And he's like, "All right, everyone get the fuck up. We're taking him to a strip club." So then Polo the Don and Bolo took me to a strip club.
Fuck.
And Polo the Don's paying for everything. I'm there eating chicken wings and there's girls fucking dancing. And then he's like, "Oh, have you met this guy?" I can't remember his name, but he produced that Baby song for Justin Bieber. Baby.
Bullshit.
No, and he goes, so he's introducing me to everyone like, "This is the #1 Australian artist." So I'm like, "Yep." Okay, you going. And then I'm sitting there again, and like I used to love, Jazzy Faye. Jazzy Faye,
of course.
So I'm sitting there anyways, and I was like, "Bro," and like I got a big stripper dancing in front of me, and on the other side there's a girl dancing on this guy that looked like Jazzy Faye. And I said to Paul, I was like, "Bro, is that fucking Jazzy Faye?" He goes, "Yeah, you want to meet him?" And I was like, Yeah, let's go. So I went over, and then he's like, and then he's just like threw the girl off him, like, yeah, fuck up. And he get up, and then it was near the end of the night, and we're outside, and the fucking Rolls Royce is being valeted, and I'm there with Polo and then Jazzy Faye. We're just mucking around, laughing.
Yeah.
And I said, boys, can I get this on camera? Because no one is gonna believe this story. And they said, yeah, bro, get the fucking camera out. So I took my camera out, and they're like, oh, we're pulling on. And then Jazzy Faye's like,
I remember seeing that.
yeah. And then later on, Polo's a party animal, and he's like, fuck, you want to keep going? You want to go to a club? And I was like, yeah, let's go to a club.
Yeah, I might die, but that's
Yeah,
all right.
and
cool.
so then we're going to a club, and then he's like, because I went to the strip club in Bolo's car, and he was driving like this big truck. And then Polo the Don was in his drop top Phantom with his best friend. And we go to the car, and he goes to his friend. He's like, nah, you ride with me. And I go, okay. So then I went to go sit in the back of the Range, like the Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
And he goes, no, you ride up front. And he goes to his best friend, you sit in the back. Right?
Yeah,
I was like,
right.
oh.
Well, you're the visitor, bro. It's fucking
and
southern
then I was like,
hospitality.
yeah. And then I was like, bro, can I film in here? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, I'm in the fucking, because the model is called the Dawn. So I was like, I'm in the Dawn with Polo the Dawn. And I was like, oh, and I put the camera back to the guy in the back, and he's like, hey, fuck your spiders.
Bro, fucking, these are the stories. This is what we want to hear.
Now we're gonna get to 16.
Now
You
we're
ready
gonna
for
get to 16 because this is where, and this is where I'm sort of like, I've got
Yes.
this other little thing, right? Because then because the first time I heard of you,
Okay.
your name was Shorty
Yeah.
RV.
Shorty RV. Yes.
Shorty RV.
Say
okay.
word.
And okay, so when we came in, I was part of like a crew, and we had Kimikaze.
Yeah.
Okay, so she was filler.
Yeah.
And so
She was Shorty too. She became Shorty, right?
No, people called her Shorty because she was fucking like 3 foot flat.
Bless.
So yeah, like you could literally swing a punch down and miss her. But she people would see her and they were like, "Yo, this is when we were first." They were talking still about you, but you had gone back to the States, I believe, at that time. So tell me, like, you started because you're gonna go into 16 and then like Shorty RV, and when did you start getting that rep up in that respect?
Sure. Well, as the reason why I let you know, like Shorty obviously came from being my height, but also 1978 when the cats were like, "Yo, Shorty can break.
Yeah.
She can pop. Get in." So I kept the name. I always had it. So I changed the Y into an I. So SHORTI for Indonesian, my identity, and also individual, and then indigo. Like I had, how rappers
back
go.
then you had
We
to have,
just
like,
keep
all these
going and
subliminals.
going and going and going.
Like Method Man, like
Oh my God.
It's like, all right, Johnny Blaze. It's like, fuck, bro. There's only so much lines in your passport, bro.
It's just Shorty.
Yeah.
So I changed it to that, and I was a dancer. So all through this time, I've been a dancer. So I love my B-girl, breakdancing, that part of the culture. All of a sudden, from sneaking out to nightclubs at 13, 1987, which was the house and hip-hop clubs during Sydney time, which was absolutely incredible.
Like, what do you mean, like dope time?
Ridiculous. Like dancing and fun. And everyone, like, pure love.
Not the 90s
dude.
where it's like...
No, the 90s are still dope in the house scene.
Don't get me wrong. It was cool when you were at Gas nightclub, shout out to Sam, when the place is getting shut the fuck up. And nobody knows because we were all downstairs listening to fucking Be Faithful by Fat Man Scoop for the fucking 50th time that evening. But, it was a good time. But anyway, Shorty
so
RV.
cute.
So how'd you get that rep? Where'd the name come from?
So
in the
1989, 16, I got offered to go on tour with Public Enemy.
Just casually.
No, it was about dancing. It was all about dancing. So I danced. No. I opened up as a dancer, and then the group before us was Sound Unlimited Posse. Big ups to them.
Yep.
Then Sound Unlimited Posse opened up for Public Enemy.
Yeah.
But being that I was 16, the beautiful thing about it is I happened to meet, obviously, Public Enemy, the whole crew. They respected me, looked at me as like their baby sister. And it was a really good thing for me to see, because when I see grown men that gave me the amount of respect and believed in me, and also were like, yo, there's something about you. You got something. Like, you need to try. Like, have you ever thought about rhyming? like MCing and all that. I was just like, nah, because they were like, you like a little MC Light mirror, like shorty, you can be doing something, you got to do it. And I was like, nah, because I hated my voice. I used to get teased. I don't know if anybody, young people out there, any females out there, when you got a low tone, man, I was like, I bet your parents lied to you. You were adopted and you really a boy. Like mad evil shit, man. So like I hated my voice. Like the word hate, like it's such a hard derogatory term to say.
I try to
so I
take
actually,
that out,
so you know, as a kid, so when you have these pioneers, like, yo, your voice is ill. Like you can do something with it. Like
a bit of a contradiction to
like,
what you
and I was
fucking
like,
actually
looking
believe.
at him like, what, really? So fast forward, I became 19. I went to London. I left school, 92, graduated. I went to London as a dancer, danced for Mark Morrison, went on tour, did music videos, all of this.
Mark Morrison. Big shout out to Mark Morrison.
Yeah.
I hope he's listening.
Yeah.
Return of the Mac. Still the jam.
And then danced for Top of the Pops. I was a dancer for Top of the Pops.
That's crazy.
Did a lot of TV shows out there, different names and stuff I can't remember. But the great thing is I got to meet a lot of, as a dancer, I got to meet a lot of men in the industry. And that was really good because being a tomboy, being an artist as a female, and this is where it's interesting. So anybody that's out there who is a female that wants to get into the industry, and the young men that will meet, obviously, young women in the industry.
Women, yeah. As colleagues.
Thank you. I was just about to say that. As colleagues. The beautiful thing is I did meet grown men that actually I got respect from because they said my demeanor was respectful, which I actually didn't know. Like, what it was is I was just a tomboy, and I never saw myself. You remember, like, you got to remember, growing up, I was an ugly duckling, right?
So it's not, I get it. It's not like you're not putting.
So I'm not putting anything
It's not
on.
on a female tip. It's more of a just
camaraderie.
like the bros sort of.
Yeah, like I was like,
I can get that.
Yeah, so not naming names, but I met a lot of people that are in the industry, and they were like, "Yo, shorty, cool, like, Mira, you know, what is it you want to do?" And I was like, "I want to do rhyme, sing, da da da." So how I got into rhyming was my ex. It's so crazy. His boy, he was at home, and I called him, but they didn't hear the phone ring or whatever, and I left my message on his answer machine, and all his boys, he played it, I guess, and his boys were like
in front of people.
Yeah, and he's like, "Raw, man, whose voice is that, man? She got an ill voice, you know. Like, what raw? Like, what type of, you know, what does she do? Like, it's like MC Light type shit, you know? You get me? You get me?
Yeah. Oh, wait, that's right, because your voice would have stood out over there.
Yeah,
okay, yeah, I get it.
So he calls me and goes, "Babe."
Because I'm gonna like, how the fuck are they getting this impression of a fucking like,
Yeah,
every time I fucking leave a voicemail, I sound like a dickhead. Fuck. Sorry, hang on a minute. Fuck, some cunt cut me off. Anyway, call me back. Yeah, no, anyway, keep going there. Go.
So I left a message on, I'm talking about old answer machines. Like the message that you push down that has a cassette in it, yo.
Oh, shit, the cassettes, yes.
Yes,
Sorry,
the cassette. So they were like, yo, so he brought me to the studio. This is my first rap attempt. Gotta remember, I was a dancer.
I like how you already tried to justify it.
Yeah, I had to justify it. It's because, it's that bad. I stood in the booth, and they're like, yeah, rap something, you know, like just, you know. And I was like, rap, tap, lap, fap. They were like, nah, man.
Like, oh, shit,
we're not
bars.
trying to say just rhyming words, like bars, man. And I was like, what is that? So he's like, babe, get your lyric book that I used to write poetry. I didn't used to write raps. I used to write poetry. So I did all this poetry on the mic, and then they taught me bars. They were like, take out that word, take out this. Da, da, da. And then when I got that, I finally what's the beautiful poetic way of saying it? I finally tasted the nectar of what rhyming was. And I was like, oh.
That's when it fucks you up.
Then I was like, let's go hard.